So after yet another marketing agency claimed to have a 2% hit rate on their advertising, was like, wow, this is so impressive, I had to make this video to not only explain what your hit rate should be on meta ads, meaning how many ads you run versus how many should work, and also if you're not at this minimum threshold, how to actually improve your advertising. And first of all, let's talk about the company that claimed to have a 2% hit rate and was impressed, pushed me to make this article. It's a company called Brkfst, and what they do is UGC content. They send you the content and then they post it and they run it as ads and stuff like that. Kind of standard. It's actually really similar to what I do, except they claim to have a 2% hit rate versus I usually carry between a 15 and 20% hit rate. So obviously there's something wrong here. Now this is a screenshot directly from their article, and I am convinced one of two things happened here. Either one, they don't give their UGC actors anything to go off of. So they don't give them scripts or hooks or ideas or call to actions or ICP targeting or any of this other stuff that helps improve your advertising. Or the second option is that they just Googled this and was like, oh, that sounds good. That's average. Let's just go with that. You know, I tend to try to be in the top 1, 2, 3% of whatever statistics that I'm referencing, because if I'm not, then why am I flexing? But if they just Googled that and put it on their doc, it would create an explanation for why their ads apparently are just terrible. So I'm not going to talk about them anymore throughout this. We're going to focus the rest of this on how to actually improve your ads, but I just wanted to reference why I actually am creating this video. It's because there's a lot of marketing agencies out there that just are not good, and you really want to be able to improve your ads, regardless of if you hire me or not. Here's the process. First things first, if your hit rate is below 10%, there is a problem with something. When you put an ad in the ad manager, Meta with the Andromeda update after 2025 is going to show it to the highest awareness audience first, meaning the audience that is going to be the most likely to convert. These should be easy sells. Basically, it's people who already know they want your product and are already interested, or they've seen very, very similar products in the past and have purchased. And so all you have to do is give them a reason to buy today, maybe a discount or some bundle or whatever. Then what you do is you iterate off of that, or you increase your levels of awareness. If your hit rate is below 10% on that first batch of ads, there's something wrong, because you are pitching to the most profitable audience and failing. That should never happen. So first things first, 10%, that is your benchmark. If you are below 10%, you need to fix things. The next big thing that I like to talk about is hit rate and budget. So if your budget is, let's say, $3,000 a month for advertising and you have a 2% hit rate, you will blow your entire advertising budget just testing ads. You won't even get any successes, because if UGC creators are charging you $100 per video, you get 30 videos, 2% success rate. In all likelihood, you will have 0 successful ads. That is not sustainable, and you will blow your entire budget for multiple months trying to even find something that works, not even spending money on the ads that are working. So you need to actually do this format, which is going to increase your hit rate and make it so that you can test 5 or 10 different ads rather than 50 or 100 different ads and start seeing success. That relates directly to your budget. The more you have to spend on UGC content creators, the less results you're going to have, because you can't spend as much money on the ads that are actually working. Let's go through a couple of examples. I'm going to have 2 from my own brand and 1 from a hair care brand that we ran ads for. So this is the first example. This is a set of ads that we specifically ran targeting levels of awareness, showcasing our click-through rate. That was the pitch, is that we had a very high click-through rate on our ads. So you can see for the lowest level of awareness, you are running ads wrong, $100 CPA. Pretty simple. It's a pain point and then a call to action, and we sent them to a couple of articles and a couple of videos showcasing our system. That had a pretty good conversion rate for a totally unaware audience, and this was the ad that ended up winning. We tested 3. This is why your ads are failing. Same kind of pitch, except it's a little bit more direct, and these are people who are problem aware. They know that their ads aren't working and they want a solution. Then we have people who are solution aware, who know that they need something and know that the solution is not just spending more on ads. So we call that out in this advertisement. We go from a call to action here that's sending them to lead nurturing and information and videos and stuff like that to get them interested in our brand. And we switch now to an offer, because people who are solution aware tend to be pitchable as long as you have a good sales process. For the people who are product aware, these people who have likely already hired a marketing agency, if not us, in the past, we switch it to 20% plus click-through rate. This is a very specific pitch to people who want to increase their advertising results and know what they're talking about when it comes to advertising. And again, we're going to have an offer call to action here. And then finally, we have people who are fully aware. Now, in this case, we went after Imperium Acquisition because they charge about $12,000 just to even set up their system, which is incredibly expensive and totally out of reach for most business owners. So we showcased that the fact that we don't have a setup fee and we showcase the fact that we don't have a setup fee at all, and we're performance-based in comparison to a $12,000 setup fee. This ad did really, really well because it was not only an incredibly motivated audience, but it was also showcasing a specific benefit that we have. This is tailoring levels of awareness with a specific ad message. Now, this is a hair care brand. Now, I'm going to showcase the 4 winning ads out of the batch of, I believe we did 10 for this one. The first one is going to be totally unaware. Did you know some products actually ruin your hair? This is kind of a generic messaging. Now, in this case, I was actually a little surprised this was the highest performing one for unaware, but I think it was because instead of specifying that this was for Asian hair, which is what we were initially going to do, we went with a little bit broader of a targeting and then sent the landing page and clarified that this was for Asian hair. And I think the reason this ad performed better is because the click-through rate was really high, which caused the CPM to go down because Meta thought it was a high quality ad. Now, if we had specified Asian hair, it still would have done well, but it would have done a little bit less well because there was a smaller available audience. And when you're targeting unaware, you want a lot of people in that audience. The rest of these are going to be targeting different levels of awareness. You can see how the problem gets more specific as we dial in. In this case, when we went down to product aware, we just showcased an offer, which is a little bit of a simpler way to showcase the benefits. We assumed because this was retargeting ads that they were already going to understand what the product was, and apparently they did. And this is just one more showcase of our own offer. So if you go unaware all the way on the right side this time, are your ads good enough is a very generic question, and that's going to have a massive target audience of anybody who's running ads. We had a pretty high click-through rate here because it was an informational ad versus if you go to the product aware and fully aware, which actually the same ad won for both of those categories. It was a steal our system ad, which those tend to work pretty well because, again, it's kind of pitching information and doesn't seem like it has a purchase required, showcases a benefit with a screenshot of an ad account, and has a watch these case studies argument, which is exactly what we sent them to. This had a pretty high click-through rate because it's clear on the benefits that they're going to be receiving. So let's dial it back in. How does this relate to hit rate? All of these ads have a very specific target, a very specific problem, and are showcasing it in a clean, simple way. These ads have an incredibly high hit rate because they're easy to understand and they have good, clean visuals and a clear benefit to a clear audience. Meta then shows it to that audience who can receive that benefit, and then you will get results. This is how to improve your hit rate. Super easy. Now, how many ads should you be testing? I do a $5 to 1 ad testing ratio. That means for every $5 in my ad account, per week, I am testing 1 new ad. This means that I will end up having a lot of working ads in my ad account as the budget scales, and it keeps the number of creatives scaling with the amount of dollars that I'm spending. So if I go from $100 of spend to $1,000 of spend, I will not only 10x the budget, but I will also 10x the number of creatives. Now, if you want to read the full article going over the same information, it's linked right here and in the description. But hopefully this video has given you a clear understanding of levels of awareness, how to increase your hit rate, and hopefully how to improve your ads.